Infections, malnutrition, obesity, diabetes, asthma, and overall death are the many risks infants are predisposed of when they are not breastfed. Are you aware that 1.5 million children worldwide die every year as a result? To address this societal health issue, the World Health Organization recommends infants to be exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months of life. So what does exclusive breastfeeding mean? Exclusive breastfeeding is when an infant only receives breast milk as the primary source of nutrition without any additional food or drink. Breastfeeding is the most natural way of providing your child the nutrition they need to achieve optimal growth, health, and development. As Langara nursing students, we support exclusive breastfeeding and aim to promote breastfeeding as a social and cultural norm among Canadian mothers by increasing public awareness. Did you know that 1.3 million children are saved every year because of exclusive breastfeeding? In Canada, 90% of mothers breastfeed their child initially. However, at 3 months, 50% of them tend to stop. And by 6 months, only 14% of these mothers continue breastfeeding. British Columbia has one of the highest rates of breastfeeding mothers in Canada. 97% breastfeed their infants during the first few months of life. At 3 months, 61% of these mothers remain breastfeeding, and eventually only 19% continue after 6 months. What are the benefits of breastfeeding? In infants, breastfeeding can decrease the risk of developing allergies, cardiovascular diseases, and gastrointestinal, urinary, and respiratory infections. Breast milk has also been proven to improve your baby's immune system and optimize their growth and development. Breastfeeding can also positively affect the mother's health. It can reduce their risk of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, osteoporosis, coronary heart disease, postpartum depression, and diabetes. Breastfeeding can also help lower the stress levels of mothers after pregnancy. Despite these health benefits, why do some women still choose not to breastfeed? Breasts have been culturally perceived by society as a woman's private body part. It has also been associated as erotic and sexual objects. These are just some of the societal views that discourage women from breastfeeding in public. Employment can also negatively impact the mother's decision to breastfeed. Due to financial reasons, some women with low income tend to give up breastfeeding and work to support their family. Since breastfeeding requires a change in lifestyle, mothers may not be able to commit. Other barriers to breastfeeding include limited education, support, and resources. Due to these barriers, mothers tend to rely on infant formula feeding instead. So how can you overcome the barriers to breastfeeding? The World Health Organization in Canada has taken initiatives in protecting breastfeeding mothers. In Canada, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms support women to breastfeed in public. The Human Rights of British Columbia also protect breastfeeding mothers from discrimination. This policy also has specific regulations in accommodating mothers to breastfeed at work. In regards to infant formula and feeding products, the World Health Organization developed an international code of marketing for breast milk substitutes. This code regulates the information, education, and marketing delivered by infant feed manufacturers in order to provide safe and adequate nutrition for infants. In 1991, the World Health Organization and UNICEF launched the Baby-Friendly Initiative to guide maternities worldwide in becoming centers of breastfeeding support. To be labeled as baby-friendly facility, maternities are evaluated based on their adherence to the 10 steps of successful breastfeeding. So which institutions in BC are considered baby-friendly? We would like to acknowledge the G.R. Baker Memorial Hospital in Quesno and BC Women's Hospital in Vancouver for being accredited as baby-friendly facilities. BC Women's is the largest baby-friendly hospital in Canada. Other organizations that promote, support, and protect breastfeeding in Canada are the Canadian and BC Lactation Consultants Association, Breastfeeding Committee, InFact, and the Leslie Canada. For mothers who are unable to breastfeed, you can visit the Human Milk Bank Association of North America for more support. If you want more breastfeeding information and support, you can contact Carolyn Solomon, Manager of Maternal and Women's Health, and Barbara Selwood, the Chair of BC Baby Friendly Network. You can also visit the Baby Friendly Network at www.bcbabyfriendly.ca. In order to strengthen the efforts made by different organizations, support and celebrate the upcoming Breastfeeding Week. Every year from August 1st to the 7th, more than 170 countries celebrate Breastfeeding Week. So let's participate in some fun activities to promote breastfeeding worldwide. So what else can you do to support breastfeeding? We encourage the public to support women to breastfeed their children, increase awareness about breastfeeding and its benefits, actively participate in initiatives made by organizations that support breastfeeding, and advocate for the rights of women and children. We also recommend healthcare providers and facilities to foster an environment that protects, promotes, and supports breastfeeding by adhering and implementing the Baby Friendly Initiative, educating mothers and families, and minimizing and clarifying the many misconceptions about breastfeeding. Lastly, we encourage mothers to actively seek and utilize support from community resources in providing the optimal nutrition for their infants. So let us all work together in empowering women with breastfeeding. Remember, breast is best.